Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Hattrick League 32nd match between Proddatur Lions versus Proddatur Tigers. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
So what will select? So takes is the call from the Proddatur Tigers. So head. Toss won by the Proddatur Tigers. And what will select? White side or black side?
Black side.
So they won the toss and elected to play black side.
And in toss, Proddatur Tigers team won the toss and elected to play on black side.
Thank you.
And here is the both teams lineup. For Proddatur Tigers team, Abhinay is the opener and Gautam Iswar is the second player and Sai Akiltej comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Lions team, Dinesh is the opener and Lohit is the second player and Ramcharan comes to play as third player. Now, let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Lions team opening player Dinesh versus Proddatur Tigers team opening player Abhinay. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. One-time hat-trick hero and scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team opening player Dinesh is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team opening player Abhinay is ready to play on black side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 1 of the match. Black side player Abhinay is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to e6, bishop to d2, pawn to d6, knight to f3, queen to f6, knight to h4, knight to h6, rook to g1, knight to g4, pawn to h3.
Now Abhinay immediately
Queen
captured
pawn
pawn
at f2 and check to white king
and
and
set
it's a
check
checkmate.
to white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Abhinay. What is superb checkmate win to Abhinay. Dinesh out. Proddatur Lions team opening player Dinesh out. With this win, Abhinay, he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match.
Let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Lions team opening player Lohit Reddy versus Proddatur Tigers team second player Abhinay. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these 2 players, Abhinay already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Best scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team second player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team opening player Abhinay is ready to play on white side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 2 of the match. Black side player Lohit is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, pawn to f3, knight to c6, pawn to d4, knight capture pawn at d4, pawn to f4, pawn capture pawn at f4, bishop capture pawn at f4, knight to e6, bishop to g3, queen to f6, giraffe to f3, queen to d8, queen to d5, giraffe to f6, bishop to h4, pawn to c6, queen to d2, pawn to d5, pawn capture pawn at d5, pawn capture pawn at d5, bishop to b5 and check to blacking, giraffe to c6, bishop to e2, pawn to d4, pawn to c3, pawn capture pawn at c3, queen capture queen at d8 and check to blacking, king capture queen at d8, pawn to c3, pawn to h5, giraffe to e3, pawn to g5, bishop to f2, giraffe capture giraffe to e3, bishop capture giraffe to e3, bishop to d6, bishop to c4, Bishop to e5. Bishop to d4. Pawn to f6. Bishop capture, bishop at e5. Pawn capture, bishop at e5. Giraffe capture, knight at e6. Giraffe to f7. Giraffe to d3. Giraffe to g4. Giraffe capture, giraffe to g4. Pawn capture, giraffe to g4. Pawn to h3. Pawn capture, pawn at h3. Pawn capture, pawn at h3. Pawn to g4. Bishop to e2. Knight to f6. Pawn to h4. Bishop to d7. Bishop to c4. Bishop to c6. Rook to h2. Knight to d7. Rook to d2. Rook to f8. Knight to e0. Pawn to g3. Bishop to f1. King to e8. Rook to d3. Bishop to b5. Rook capture, pawn at g3. Rook capture, bishop at f1 and check to white king. King to d2. Rook to d8. Knight to a3. Knight to f6. King to e3. Rook capture, rook at a1. Knight capture, bishop at b5. Knight to d5 and check to white king. King to f3, king to e7, king to g6, rook to f1, knight to d2, rook to f8, knight to e4, rook to h8, knight to d6, king to e6, rook to f3, knight to f6 and check to white king, rook capture knight at f6 and check to black king, king to d5, knight capture pawn at b7, rook to g8 and check to white king, knight to g5, king to c4, king to f5, king to d3, king to e6, king to e2, rook to g6, king
Yes,
to
now we
f1,
can see Lohit is
rook
just
capture
one
rook
step
at
away to
g8,
win by crowning.
king
Yes,
to
he moved his
e0,
king to
crowning
e0 and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win to Lohit. Abhinay out. Proddatur Tigers team opening player Abhinay out. In the first game he won. In the second game he lost. Now with this win, Lohit, he won the first game and still need two more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. And big disappointment to the Abhinay. He lost the hat-trick chance.
Let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Lions team second player Lohit Reddy versus Proddatur Tigers team second player Gautam Ishwar. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Lohit Reddy already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team second player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. One-time hat-trick hero, Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team second player Gautam Ishwar is ready to play on black side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start. Game 3 of the match. Black side player Gautam Ishwar is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, pawn to f6, pawn to d4, pawn capture pawn to d4, knight capture pawn to d4, bishop to c5, knight to f5, pawn to a6, knight capture pawn to g7 and check to black king, king to f8, queen to g4, queen to g4, pawn to d5, knight to h5, bishop capture queen at g4, giraffe to d3, bishop capture knight at h5, giraffe to a4, pawn capture pawn to e4, knight to c3, queen to e8, pawn to g3, pawn to b5, giraffe to b1, pawn to b4, knight to e2, knight to c6, bishop to g2, rook to d8, bishop to d2, queen to e5, pawn to f4, queen to f5, knight to g1, queen to d5, king to e0, queen capture bishop at d2, knight to e2, queen capture knight at e2, giraffe capture queen at e2, bishop capture giraffe at e2, rook to e1, bishop to b5, bishop capture pawn to e4, rook to e8, pawn to b3, giraffe to e6, pawn to a4, giraffe to h5, bishop to f3, rook capture rook at e1 and check to white king, rook capture rook at e1, giraffe to e6, pawn capture bishop at b5, giraffe capture bishop at f3 and check to white king, king to d1, knight to d4, giraffe to a1, knight capture pawn at c2, king to e2, knight capture rook at e1, king capture knight at e1, knight to h6, king to e2, king to f7, king to d3, rook to e8, king to d2, illegal, king to d2, rook to e2 and check to white king, king capture rook at e2, king to e6, king to f3, king to d5, king to e2, knight to g4, king to f3, knight to f5 and check to white king, pawn capture knight at e5, pawn capture pawn at e5, king to g4, giraffe to b8, king to f5, pawn to h5, king to f6, king to e4, king to f7, pawn to h4, king to f8.
Now we can see
Pawn to
Lohit is
h3,
just one step away to win by crowning. Yes, he
to
moved his
e9,
king to
crowning
e9
win.
and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win by Lohit. Gautam Ishwar out. Proddatur Tigers team second player Gautam Ishwar out. Lohit with this win he won continuously 2 games and still need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match.
Now, let us watch fourth game of the match between Proddatur Lions team second player Lohit Reddy versus Proddatur Tigers team last player Sai Akhil Tej. Let us see who will wins this game. If Lohit Reddy wins this game, it will be hat-trick to the Lohit Reddy and he will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. If Sai Akhil Tej wins this game, match will be tied with 2-all games and go for fifth game for result. Let us move on to the court. One-time hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, second player of Proddatur Lions team, Lohit Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Young scholar awardee, Proddatur Tigers team last player Sai Akhil Tej is ready to play on white side.
Now we can see both players are ready to start game 4 of the match. Black side player Lohit Reddy is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 4 started.
Pawn to e3, pawn to e5, queen to f3, giraffe to e6, queen to e2, pawn to b6, giraffe to d3, bishop to a6, queen to d1, giraffe capture giraffe at d3, pawn capture giraffe at d3, queen to f6, knight to h3, bishop to c8, giraffe to c3, pawn to d5, pawn to e4, giraffe to d6, giraffe capture giraffe at d6, bishop capture giraffe at d6, pawn capture pawn at d5, bishop to c5, pawn to b3, bishop captured knight at h3, pawn capture bishop at h3, queen capture pawn at f2 and check to white king, king to e0, queen to d4, knight to c3, bishop to b4, pawn to a3, bishop capture knight at c3, pawn capture bishop at c3, queen capture pawn at d5, queen to f3, queen capture queen at f3, rook to g1, queen to f6, bishop to g5, queen to c6, rook to e1, queen capture pawn at c3, bishop to e3, queen to c2 and check to white king, rook to d1, knight to c6, rook to g2, queen capture pawn at b3, king to d0, queen capture pawn at a3 and check to white king, rook to c1, rook to d8, rook to c2, queen to d6, bishop to g2, knight to b4, bishop to c6 and check to black king, king to f8, rook to b2, queen capture bishop at c6, rook capture queen at c6, knight capture rook at c6, rook to c2, knight to c8 illegal, knight to b8, king to e1, king to e7, king to d2, king to e6, king to e2, king to f5, king to f3, knight to f6, rook to f2, pawn to e4 and check to white king, king to g3, king to e5, bishop to f4 and check to black king, king to d4, bishop to g5, king capture pawn at d3, king to g4 illegal, king to h4, pawn to e3, bishop capture pawn at e3, king capture bishop at e3, rook to f1, king to e2, rook to h1, rook to d1, king to g5, rook capture rook at h1, king to f5, king to e1, king to e6 illegal, king to e5.
Now we can see Lohit is just one step away
King
to win
to
by
E0,
crowning. Yes, he
crowning
moved his
win.
king to E0 and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win to Lohit. Sai Akil Tej out. Proddatur Tigers team lost the last player Sai Akil Tej. Lohit, with this win, he continuously won 3 games and did hat-trick and became hat-trick hero of today's great match. And this is his first hat-trick in hat-trick league. Congratulations, hat-trick hero Lohit. Hello everyone, welcome to the cash and prize ceremony to the hat-trick hero. Just now we witnessed very good match between Proddatur Lions versus Proddatur Tigers. In this, right now we are with the Proddatur Lions player who just finished a hat-trick. Congratulations, hat-trick hero. And here is the 500 rupees cash prize from the International Giraffe Chess Federation. Congratulations. Now, it is time to have little interview with today's Hattrick hero, Lohit. Lohit, he played very good 3 games. He out all the Proddatur Tigers 3 players with the same type of winning crowning. First he out Abhinay by crowning in 53 moves. Now in that game, Abhinay is very good player. You outed him by crowning. So which is the game winning move?
అభినయ్ క్రోనింగ్కి వచ్చేటప్పుడు నా రూక్స్ని అడ్డం పెట్టి నేను క్రోనింగ్కి వెళ్ళడం వల్ల గెలవడానికి కారణం.
Very good. That is the very important step that makes him to win the game. And next game, he played with against another Tigers player. He is also very good player, Gautam Ishwar. Just 46 moves. Again, he won by crowning. So, what is the game-winning move?
గౌతమేశ్వర్ ఆలోచిస్తూ నా పవర్ టు పవర్ ఇవ్వడం వల్ల నేను తెలివిగా ఆలోచించి క్రౌనింగ్ చేయడం వల్ల నేను గెలవడానికి కారణం.
Very good. That is the reason. Gautam Ishwar is also very good player. He outed by crowning. And the third one, very important one, very intense game between Proddatur Lions player and Tigers player, Sai Akintej. He outed by crowning in 47 moves. So in third game is very important game to become Hattrick hero, isn't it? So what is the match game winning move?
అఖిల్ తేజ్ నేను వేసే మూవ్స్ని ఆలోచించుకోకుండా వేయడం వల్ల నేను క్రోనింగ్ చేసి గెలవడం అయింది.
Very good. So that is the game winning deciding move he makes him. Finally, Lohit, he became the Hattrick hero. Total moves 146 moves. Very good game, very good games, 3 games and very good match. So just now we watched match number 37 and once again congratulations. Finally, I would like to ask you a small question. Whom you dedicate this?
మై మదర్ అండ్ ఫాదర్.
Your mother and father. So for his parents, he dedicated this Hattrick. Okay, convey my best wishes to your parents. Thank you.
And here is today's Hattrick hero Lohit's scorecard. In game 1, he outs Abhinay by crowning in 53 moves. In game 2, he outs Gautam Ishwar by crowning in 46 moves. In game 3, he outs Sai Akintej by crowning in 47 moves. Congratulations Hattrick hero Lohit. He did a Hattrick in 146 moves. All the best for the next matches. And here is the points table of Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us see what are the top 4 teams after finishing off 32 matches. Proddatur Chiruta's team with 12 points stands on first position. Proddatur Spartans team with 10 points stands on second position. Proddatur Kings team with 8 points stands on third position. Proddatur Jaguars team with 8 points stands on fourth position. Each team after playing 9 matches, final points are calculated for top 4 positions. Top 4 teams only qualify for the final playoffs.